guys, it's you girl with
Hey,
you know who.
you know ho.
You know you know who. And today we're gonna be talking about crushes.
Sweet. Can I start with my sweetheart?
I guess so.
I don't feel like it though.
I mean, if you want me to go first, I'll go first.
I mean, I really want to go first, but I just don't feel like it. But I'll go ahead. So, her name's Lupe in this scenario. And I knew Lupe's mother before I knew Lupe. And I knew Lupe's ex-boyfriend before I knew Lupe. So, Henry
Wait,
was her ex.
how old were
What?
you?
19.
Oh,
So Lupe's ex Henry was my friend before I met Lupe or Lupe's mother. And so I invited Henry to come over at this little like get together I had for me and my neighbors, 'cause he happened to be in town. And so he came over and we had dinner. And that's when Lupe's mom met Henry and like they knew each other, like, oh, Henry, it's been so long. And I was surprised, like, oh, what? You know who this is? And then they spilled the whole story about how Henry used to date Lupe, and I was kind of like in my head freaking out because I had a crush on Lupe, and yeah, it was kind of funny. And so I remember one time I got Lupe a bunch of flowers. I was looking for flowers all around town because I couldn't afford some at the time. So I looked all around town and I got, don't tell anyone, I got some flowers that's illegal to take off the ground. And I took a few others, pink ones, blue ones, um, and then like this purple one. And I tied them. I asked around for like string and stuff, and this lady gave me that foamy wiry stuff. You know what I'm saying? It's like it has like it's like fur on a wire. And you twist
yarn?
it around. Not yarn. It has like a wire, and they use it like for arts and crafts.
Oh, pipe cleaner.
Yeah, pipe cleaner. She gave me some pink one, and she helped me arrange it to look like a butterfly. And
Oh,
so when I went back to see Lupe, she already left, and so I gave it to Lupe's mom to give it to her. And yeah, um, Lupe was a hairdresser, or going to school at the time to be a hairdresser. And I just remember, I mean, I still have a thing for her, but you know, distance and time just kind of faded the crush away. But she's still a beautiful woman, and I hope to see her sometime soon. And so that's my story. And what's going on over there with that noggin over there?
um, well, I haven't had a crush in a year, and you know all about him, so
And who's him?
I talked about him in a couple episodes back as well.
In season one, which you can go back and listen to on our playlist on YouTube.
And on Spotify.
You could, but we don't have a playlist there. Spotify doesn't look as nice as our YouTube channel.
Anyway, so I met let's call him Fabian.
All right,
Fabian
Fabian.
in the beginning of my senior year, and it was like the first day. This sounds so cheesy, but like our eyes met from across the room, and so like I found him attractive like immediately, and this was like in September, in the beginning of the school year. But he sat on the other side of class, and I sat on the other, and I just minded my business until the next semester when our teacher made us partners and made us sit next to each other. And for like a whole like 2 months, it was just silence. Complete
Oh my God.
silence.
2 months?
Yes.
Oh,
We
geez.
didn't say anything to each other. until after spring break when our teacher moved us again, but instead it was a group of four, so it was me and him and this other girl, another guy. And because that other girl and other guy were really talkative, it made us talk. So it was kind of sad. Like, I guess I only really knew his personality for like the last 3 months of school, but
Oh, and then you couldn't find him, right, on the social medias?
yeah, and I don't know. It was just it was just sad because we were both two little losers who didn't know how to speak up. So nothing happened. I remember this one day, it was at lunch. We both had the same lunch period too, which makes it even more sadder because we could have like talked there too, but we
Hmm.
didn't. But he like sat at a table nearby, and my friend and we were sitting on the ground in front of the library, and
Man, you guys sound like losers.
we are, but leading to the library, there's a few steps and there's tables, and he was sitting at a table there, and he looked back and he saw that me and my friend were sitting up there.
Hmm.
So he and his friend start talking, and then they get up and start walking towards us. They come all the way up the steps, and I'm like staring at him, and then I look down at my phone because I started panicking, and then he like got like right in front of us, and then they just like turned back around and left. Like,
Son of a bitch.
it's
You
like
found, oh,
obviously he was coming over to talk to us because there was nobody else there, but then they just left.
hmm.
And it's also funny because the only reason why my friend and I were sitting up there is because we were in an argument with our other friend.
Hmm.
So my friend could tell that he kept like staring at us, and so she started yelling at him like, "What are you looking at? What are you looking at?" Because she
Hmm.
was all heated from the argument. So then I was like embarrassed to see him the next day because my friend was all mad, but he didn't even mention anything, and I don't know. Also,
Sounds like a,
it sounds like a what?
sounds like a beta.
Yeah, also for Valentine's Day, because the class that I had with him was Spanish, so we did like activities like that revolving around holidays and stuff a lot. So we had to make a poem in Spanish revolving around Valentine's Day, and
Ooh.
I was like, I don't know what to say because I've never dated someone. And he was like, oh yeah, me too. And then somehow we start talking about first kisses, and he was like, oh, I've never kissed anyone. And he starts
Ooh.
laughing. And then the other guy was like, why are you laughing? And he was like, oh, just nothing, nothing.
Ooh. Ooh.
So I kind of understand why he like never said anything to me because obviously like he had never been with anyone either, and of course I wasn't gonna say anything. So
Ooh.
yeah,
Well, well.
it still kind of makes me sad when I think about it because I told you about this like in the moment last year, and you're like, just go for it, say something, and I never did. And then like a few weeks after I had graduated, I was like, dang it, I should have said something.
Fabian, if you're out there listening, there's a young, green-skinned lady. Just go to Michigan
Yep.
and find her. Wait, no, we're both in the same state. So, Fabian, you're in
No,
Michigan. You know where we're at.
no, he actually ended up. I don't know if
He moved?
he said he was gonna move, but I don't know if he actually did or not.
Uh-huh.
I think it was in Virginia or something.
Well, Fabian, the internet is worldwide, so we don't have to worry about that. Um, so yeah, just DM
Oh,
us and we'll get back to
also
you.
here's the thing that he was born in Egypt, so maybe he went back over there.
He's Egyptian.
Yeah.
That's cool. He can do the Pharaoh dance and all.
Okay, let's not get stereotypical here.
That's not stereotypical. It's actual dance.
Yeah, but I remember he told us one time like how he would like go see the pyramids all the time, and everyone was like freaking out, and he was like, "What? They're not even that cool." Um, but yeah, I just made myself sad. I guess we could talk about elementary school crushes because, that's a lot more innocent.
Jessica was my first crush. I remember telling my mom about her on the ride one morning over.
Oh.
I remember saying, "So, Mom, is it true when love songs make sense? That means you're in love." And I remember she started laughing because we were listening to the radio and a love song was playing, and she started laughing. And she said, "Why? Do you have a crush on someone?" And I said, "Yes." And I told her it was a girl named Jessica, and she said, "You should tell her how you feel." And so that morning, I sat next to her, and I turned to her and I say, "Hey, Jessica, I really like you." And she turned to me and said, "Ew."
No.
And so, yeah, that was my first crush. I remember talking to her again in fifth grade. Um, like it was kind of awkward because, of course, I didn't have a crush on her. I had a crush on this other girl who was way too smart for me. Um, but what's her name? Jessica. I remember talking to her about like, oh yeah, I'm gonna miss it because we were graduating from fifth grade. Oh, yeah, I'm gonna miss elementary. I remember playing on the playground, this and that, and then like we were telling each other stories. And so we ended at a good note. Me and Jessica went our own ways. The end.
Oh. I guess I have an embarrassing story.
Go for it.
In eighth grade, I liked this guy named Larry. Um,
Larry.
yeah. Oh, I get. I also had him for Spanish class, so
Ooh.
um, it
¿Qué
was
tú quieres?
anyway. I had liked him for the whole year, and by this time it was spring break. And he asked me what I was doing for spring break, and this was like the first time he ever spoke to me. So I freaked out,
Hmm.
got all nervous, and I said, I don't know. And for some reason, the whole class was listening, and they laughed at me. Um, and that was the extent to our interaction.
Man,
Just getting laughed at.
yeah. I I wonder how stuff like that happens, like I mean it's easy for people for me at least to talk to girls. Um, do you think it was the way we were raised or something? Or is it just like something that's personal? Or it's just hard to talk to people?
I mean, I, I mean, for me, it's because I got bullied. So
Mm.
social interactions for me became like something that I got really anxious about. So that's why I like barely had any friends. Still barely have any friends, but I also went through this phase where like um I tried to like befriend every person I spoke to, and then I don't know, it just wasn't fun. Like, because it was just like baseless friendships. It was just people that I talked to and surrounded myself with. And I was like, I don't even have anything in common with these people. I just talk to them just because. So, quality over quantity is a real thing.
True that. Um, um, do you think we would have been friends if like we weren't family?
Maybe.
Maybe, because usually, so going back to the part where you were getting bullied. So usually I was the bully. You think I would have been like bullied you? Oh no, I never picked on girls. Now I think about it,
Um,
so probably not. I knew a real mean girl, in elementary that she would, so we were walking and they were talking. That rhymes, spitting bars. They were talking in front of me and they were saying something about like, um, ganging up on this kid. And I was like, I said, I'm game. And they turned around and they said, what you say? I said, I'm game. And then they started laughing. And then they said that we thought you said that you're gay.
mm,
And I remember that because at the time their friend was gay. And you could just tell that this kid was gay. It was weird. Like he was the stereotypical gay
Yeah.
kid, you know? And so yeah, I don't know.
Um,
It was funny.
Maybe we wouldn't have been friends in elementary school, but maybe as we got older, yeah. Cause I always
Probably.
gravitate towards extroverted people so they can do all the talking.
Well, yeah, I guess so.
Um, but speaking about my bully, she knew about this crush that I had on this guy, and I guess after she like turned on me and started being mean to me, she ended up telling him because he like paid me no attention until after she stopped being friends with me. So I was like walking somewhere one day, and I don't know where everyone else was because it was just me and him. And we were walking in opposite directions, and he just started staring at me and like smiling. Um, and it like I just like knew that he knew. Um, so yeah, I can't even remember if I ever even talked to him. Because this crush also lasted until like high school.
Mm,
Not like an actual
mm,
crush,
mm,
but like
mm,
I still found him attractive even all the way as we got older. And then my
mm-hmm.
junior year, I had him for a class, and that was like the first time I had him for a class since fourth grade. But I don't think I talked to him at all. I guess I just like got over it. I don't know.
I picked on this one guy just because my crush that I had in like sixth grade all the way to like eighth grade, maybe seventh grade, um, she liked him, so that's why I bullied him because she liked him
Oh
and
my
I liked
gosh.
her. And we happened to be on the same swim team, so every morning on the bus to school, I would like mess with him, right? Like
Oh my.
every time he tried to speak, I'll try to
You
speak over him or
probably
speak louder
gave
than
some
him.
trauma to people.
And I remember he used to be this smart kid. And actually, I think he went to a special school that like was for smart people to be
What?
doctors. And yeah, it is this like cool school. It's the medical academy or something like that. But it's for like young people to go become doctors. And he went there and he actually graduated early from his class. So he was a smart kid. But I remember in middle school, I would like pick on him. And I even got a few other guys on the bus
You're
to pick
so
on him.
mean.
And yeah, it was all because the crush I had liked him. And I think they finally became a couple. And I think that's why I started to pick on him even more, like in seventh grade. But I gave it up on eighth grade because I didn't have a crush on the girl anymore. So yeah,
So,
and he was a nice guy. I just didn't like him because the girl. That was it. I had nothing else against
so
him.
bullying really does come from jealousy.
I mean, that's just one occasion. The other times is because, they were chumps.
Anyway, middle school. I don't think I had a crush on anyone during that time. Except for junior year. This was like one of my most intense crushes. Um, Actually, I had met him my sophomore year, and we actually like talked. So this wasn't just based off of physical appearance. You know, I actually liked his personality. Um, um, and it wasn't even like anything out there. It was just because like I really, really hated that class and like everyone else in there. So just the fact that he was being a decent human being to me, I really liked. But then like a month or two into the school year, our teacher moves us apart, so I just like never talked to him again. Um, and then junior year, I kept running into him around the school, and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna request him on Instagram. um,
Okay.
and then it took me like a week to actually do it. And then when I did it, I had to close my eyes. And then he like accepted me right away and requested me back. And then as I read through his post, I was like, eh.
Well, what kind of stuff did it
No, it
say?
was just because the way that he typed really bothered me.
Oh, so hear that, guys? Type well. Grammatic is a thing to impress a lady
He
with.
would like capitalize every single letter of each new word.
Okay.
And
All
he also
right.
posted a bunch of like shirtless selfies and like I don't know, I just don't like that.
I mean, that is kind of weird from a kid,
That is
you know?
true. I mean, I appreciated it for a second, but like there were a bunch, so I was like, okay, calm down, calm down. He
Yeah.
did have a six pack, but that's neither here or there. Um, and then I was like, but also I was like trying to gain the courage to like tell him. Um, and my friends were trying to help me. And this one time in the hallway, um, we my friend and I were walking, and he was in front of us, and my friend pushed me into him, and he didn't even say anything. He just kept walking.
Hmm. I would have done the
He
same
did not
thing.
give me the time of day. Um, and also,
Yeah.
I was like really close to my history teacher. Because, I was a loser, so I went to go eat lunch in there.
Hmm.
And she ended up finding out that I liked him, and she also had him as a student, so it was kind of embarrassing that my teacher knew who my crush was, and she knew him. Um, but yeah, I just got over it. Um, because of his Instagram.
Did Did you ever think Dominic was attractive?
He's attractive, but I mean, I don't know him.
You didn't have a thing for him?
I've only met him like 2 times or something.
I remember you didn't want to sit next to him on that one time in the car.
That is nothing.
It's because you're shy.
Yeah.
You're shy for that guy.
But I don't even care because he's a cheater,
Oh,
so why would I like him?
anyways, yeah. Um, so speaking of crushes, want you guys crush that like button, crush that follow, crush that subscribe, crush whatever you got. Um, and yeah, that's the end of this episode. Thanks, and
Bye.
goodbye.